punta na tayo sa gas laws. So, what are these laws? Okay, the first one is Charles' law. It was developed by a French scientist named Jacques Charles. So he found out that under constant pressure or in isobaric conditions and fixed number of moles of gas, the volume and the absolute temperature of a gas are directly proportional. So it can be expressed using the relationship V is equals to Kp, wherein the K is a constant. Okay, from that relationship, we can derive an equation. Ngayon sa baba, V1 over T1 is equal to V2 over T2. Okay. So kung hindi nyo na-gets, pag sinabing Charles' law, so constant yung pressure and constant yung number of moles, ibig sabihin walang gas na nawala or walang amount of gas na nadagdag. Yung temperature ng gas ay directly proportional sa volume. So kapag nag-increase yung volume, mag-i-increase din yung temperature. Okay. Next law is Boyle's law. It was developed by an Irish scientist named Robert Boyle, and he found out that the pressure and the volume are inversely proportional. So kabaligtaran nito nung kanina, dito, kapag nag-i-increase yung isang parameter, mag-decrease yung isang parameter. So it was, we can express that notion using the expression P is equals to K over B, where K is the constant. And from that relationship, we can derive an equation P1V1 is equal to P2V2. Okay. Another law, it was developed by Amedeo Avogadro. So si Avogadro ay, at yung concept niya ay kilala. No? It was very popular, the 6.022 times 10 raised to 23. And from that very large number of units ay nagko-consist ng isang mole. Naalala niyo pa ba yun? Okay. So anong meron sa Avogadro's law? So Avogadro's law states that under constant pressure and fixed temperature, the volume and the number of moles of a gas are directly proportional. So sinasabi lang dito na yung volume at yung amount ng gas ay directly proportional. So kapag mas mataas yung volume ni gas, ibig sabihin mas marami siyang laman or mas marami siyang amount in terms of mole, and vice versa. So from that expression B is equals to K, and where K is the constant, we can derive an equation V1 over N1 is equal to V2 over N2. Okay, another equation, the Gay-Lussac's law. So another French scientist named Joseph Gay-Lussac, so he found out that the pressure and temperature are directly proportional. Okay, similar lang ito doon sa Avogadro sa Charles' law. So we can express that notion using P is equal to Kp, where K is the constant, and from that expression, we can derive an equation P1 over T1 is equal to P2 over T2. So if you don't know if wala kayong alam kung bakit siya P1 or kung bakit may subscript na 1 and 2, the numbers there are just the states. No, in thermodynamics, we call them the states. So yung 1 ay yung initial state at yung 2 ay yung final state. Okay, so don't be confused. Okay, if you combine all those equations into one, we can come up with a general equation PV is equals to nRT, where this is called the ideal gas equation. Yung P dyan ay yung pressure, V is a volume, N is the number of moles, R is a universal gas constant, and T is the temperature. Okay, what is the universal gas constant? It is denoted daw as R, as capital R, and can be expressed as the following values, depende kung anong units yung dinidil mo, no? So if you are dealing with joules, moles, and Kelvin, then you will use the first one, 8.31 for joule, mole inverse, Kelvin inverse, or you can use the another one, the 0.08206 liter atmosphere mole inverse, Kelvin inverse. This is the most popular value of the universal gas constant. And then yung third one is in terms of torr naman siya, 62.37 liter torrs, mole inverse, Kelvin inverse. Okay. May tinatawag tayong standard temperature and pressure conditions. It means standard pressure and standard temperature. So kapag yung gas ay nasa STP, for every 1 mole of gas, ang volume daw ng gas ay 22.41 liters. Paano nila nakuha yung 22.41? Pwede nyo yan i-check, pwede nyo i-verify. Plug in nyo yung values na to, 273.15 Kelvin and 1 bar dun sa ideal gas equation. And you will get the standard molar volume as 22.41 liters. Okay? Unit conversion, need ko pa ba ito i-discuss? So this is self-explanatory. Ayun, when solving gas problems, you need to convert the temperature always to Kelvin. So dapat, and kapag naka-degrees Celsius yun, mali na kayo, or kapag naka-degrees Fahrenheit. So be careful with that, dapat siya palaging ay in Kelvin, because Kelvin is the absolute. No, hindi is the absolute scale. Kelvin is the quantity mismo ng temperature. Okay? So if you are going to convert from degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit, use the first equation. Degree F is equal to 1.8 degrees C plus 32. And from degrees Celsius, pwede mo siya ma-convert to Kelvin if you will add 273.15. Okay, sa volume naman, minsan naka-express siya as cubic meters. Pero kapag nakakita kayo ng ganon, automatically 1 cubic meter is 1,000 liters. Okay, sa pressure, for every 1 atm, you have 1.01325 bar, which is equivalent to 760 torr, and then equivalent to 101,325 pascals. And for every 1 torr, there is also 1 millimeter mercury. So, paano nyo gagamitin tong conversion factors na ito? Alam nyo na yan, naturo yan sa lecture 1 by dimensional analysis. Okay, let's practice some problems. No? So, para mas lalo nyo siyang magets, kasi kung puro concepts lang yan, mahirapan kayo siyang i-visualize. Sabi dito sa problem 1, a cylinder of methane has a volume of 49 liters and a pressure of 154 atmospheres. If all the methane is allowed to expand until the pressure drops to 1 atmosphere, what volume would the methane gas occupy? So, sir, ano yan? Ba't sobrang haba? So, how do you attack problems? Okay. So first, you need to write the given. Ano yung mga given dyan? Meron kang volume dyan. Ilan yung volume mo dyan? Isa lang. Yung pressure mo, dalawa. So at ang tinatanong ni problem ay isa pang volume. So you write the given first. Okay. Kapag if you are solving pala gas laws, it is easier to manage kapag sineseparate mo yung given into 2 states. Lagi siyang ganun. Kapag gasless lang So, sabi dyan, a cylinder of methane has a volume of 49 liters and a pressure of 154 atm. That's for state 1, for the initial state. And for another state, sabi niya, magdadrop daw yung pressure to 1 atmosphere. At ang tinatanong niya, anong mangyayari doon sa volume? So, kung may given ka na ng pressure and volume, ano nang susunod mong gagawin? You will look through the equations na pinresent ko kanina. Ano ba doon yung may pressure and volume na involve? That could be the Boyle's law or the ideal gas law. Pero since wala namang temperature na binigay, so you will assume that it is constant temperature. So with that in mind, ang gagamitin mo na ngayong equation ay yung Boyle's law, which is the P1V1 is equal to P2V2. Okay? So paano magagamitin yung formula? Direct substitution. Okay? From yung state 1, that's for the subscript, those with the subscript 1. And for the state 2, those with the subscript 2. Okay? Plug in mo lang yon and by if may shift solve kayo sa calculator, mas madali. So, para hindi na kayo mag-algebra pa. Okay, input nyo lang yun sa calcu at lalabas na sagot ay 7,546 liters. And we need to follow the rules of the significant figures. So you will round that up to 7,550 liters. Another problem. So a sample of carbon dioxide gas occupies a volume of 575 cubic centimeters at 752 torr, and 72 degrees Fahrenheit. What is the mass of the carbon dioxide in the sample? So given ka dyan ng atomic weights ni carbon and ni oxygen. So ano yung given mo dyan? Meron kang volume, meron kang pressure, meron kang temperature, and then pinapahanap yung mass. So meron kang pressure, volume, and temperature. Magkakaroon ka na ng idea na ang gagamitin mo equation ay yung ideal gas. Tama ba? Pero sa ideal gas ay walang mass. So paano mo kukunin yung mass? So if that's the case, iisip ka ng quantity na related kay mass at yun yung kukunin mo. And what is that quantity? It's the N, no? The number of moles of the gas. So kukunin mo si N, from that N, makukuha mo si mass. Okay? Nai-visualize nyo na ba? Okay, sulat muna natin yung given. Yung volume ay naka-express sa cubic centimeters. So, kailangan mo mag-dimensional analysis at ma-express siya as liters kasi ang universal gas constant lang na meron na pinresent ko kanina ay in terms of liters. So, you need to convert that to liters. So, from 575 cubic centimeters, there is 0.575 liters. And yung pressure, pwede mo siyang i-retain na store, pero kung gusto mo atmosphere, pwede rin. Pero ako, meron namang value ni universal gas constant in terms of torr, so why not use the torr? So temperature, kailangan palaging naka-Kelvin. So in this problem, ginawa ko na lang siya as in-express ko na lang siya as fraction. So para hindi na ako mag-round off. Later na ako mag-round off sa final answer. So, and you plug it in dun sa equation, sa ideal gas equation. And be careful sa pag-plug dahil usually dyan nagkakamali yung students. No? So always double check sa calcio kung tama ba yung value na nai-input ninyo. And the number of moles is 0.02347 moles carbon dioxide. Okay, since meron tayong number of moles, pwede natin makuha yung mass kasi nga meron naman tayo dyang molar masses ni carbon tsaka ni oxygen. Okay, molar mass of the carbon dioxide can be solved by adding them directly. I need mo pa pala i-times sa 2C oxygen kasi dalawa yung oxygen sa carbon dioxide. And the molar mass for carbon dioxide is 44.01 grams per mole. Kahit hindi nyo siya actually isolve, popular yung molar mass na yan. So, laging ginagamit. And by dimensional analysis, you can get the mass of the sample by directly multiplying the molar mass to the number of moles. And the final answer is 1.03 grams. Okay, double check.